Hey, what's up? What's going on? It's Coach Joe here, also known as Pastor Joe. And we are very, very, really intentional about our health and our well-being. And Make God Famous Church, we're interested in us not only becoming spiritually connected to God, but also working on our physical so that we can become the best versions of ourselves and we'll have the energy and strength to do the things that we've been called to do. And one of the things you have to know is that by trade, I am a exercise physiologist, also personal trainer, life coach. And so I work with people from all different walks of life, trying to help them to get better so they can be around for the people that matter to them most. So today I just want to talk briefly about why most people fail at resolutions and what we can do to break through so that this is not something that we will have to struggle with any longer. So I want to introduce you to Sarah. Sarah's going to be our character in the story today. Now, if your name is Sarah, well, hey, maybe this is talking to you, maybe it's not. But I want to introduce you to Sarah. And at the beginning of the year, she was determined to make a change. She set a New Year's resolution to get fit, eat healthier, and finally prioritize her well being. Now, for the first 2 weeks, Sarah just absolutely crushed it. She hit the gym, she swapped junk food for salads, and she even started a nightly walk after dinner. She felt unstoppable. But then reality hit. Work got busy. She missed a workout, then two, and then one night she gave in to pizza and Netflix. And when she stepped on the scale, after 3 weeks of effort, the number hadn't budged. Oh, frustration set in. Sarah thought, what's the point? The next day, she skipped the gym entirely. She was caught up in her feelings. She ordered some takeout and told herself, you know what? Maybe I'll just try again next year. Sound familiar? Maybe you've been Sarah before. Maybe you're Sarah right now. But here's the thing, Sarah didn't fail. The system failed her. And she's not alone because most people quit the resolutions within 3 to 4 weeks. It's the moment I call the quit zone. It's when all the excitement fades. It's when the progress feels invisible. It's when the effort starts to feel greater than the reward. It's not just about fitness. This happens with saving money, learning new skills, improving relationships, any meaningful goal. But what if Sarah had known that this moment, the quit zone, wasn't the end? What if she'd known that real progress often feels invisible before it becomes exponential? Hmm. So, the purpose of this talk today, I'm going to show you why most resolutions fail and how to break through that critical moment where most people just give up. So you can experience the transformation waiting on the other side. And listen, this isn't about working harder or magically staying motivated. That's the old way of thinking. That's how we used to think. And it doesn't work. This is about understanding how progress really works and how it starts slow, often invisible, and then compounds into something extraordinary. I'll share stories, research, and practical strategies to help you navigate the quit zone. By the end of this talk today, you'll not only understand why you struggled in the past, but you'll have a clear path to make the changes that stick. Now, this is near and dear to me. And I'm going to tell you why this matters so much to me. I get it. I've been there. A matter of fact, a few years ago, I set out on my own journey to transform my health. I decided to compete in the men's physique competition. I had the gym membership, the meal plan, all the motivation in the world. But 3 weeks in, I hit a wall. That early excitement wore off. The progress felt just invisible. I remember looking in the mirror, frustrated, thinking, what's the point? And I almost quit, but I didn't. See, and what I learned during that process changed the way I approach not just fitness, but every goal in my life. And I'm here to share that with you. See, here's the thing. Quitting isn't about laziness or lack of willpower. It's not because you're incapable or undisciplined. Quitting happens because we've been taught the wrong way to approach change. See, we expect instant results, and when they don't come, we assume our effort isn't working. But what if I told you that the biggest transformation happens not when things feel easy, but when you push through the moments that feel the hardest? And that's what this talk is about. Breaking through that wall, understanding why the quit zone happens, and discovering how to keep going when everything inside you wants to stop. So let's get started. So if you ever felt like Sarah, like me, or the millions of others who quit just before the breakthrough, this is for you. Let's dive in and uncover why progress feels invisible, how habits really work, and how to keep going even when the results don't show up right away. Because trust me, the information you want is closer than you think. So the big question is, why do most resolutions fail? Just start thinking about that. Think about the times when things didn't work out for you. Let's go over a few things. One of the reasons why most resolutions fail is something we call the outcome trap. So most resolutions focus on outcomes. I'm going to lose 20 pounds, or I'm going to save $5,000. These goals are great, but they don't address the habits or systems needed to achieve them. So it's almost like setting a destination on your GPS, but never starting the car. See, outcomes are the end goal, but habits, the small, consistent actions, are the fuel that gets you there. So if Sarah had focused on her systems, like committing to a daily walk instead of the number on the scale, her progress would have felt achievable and more sustainable. So here's the key insight that I want you to get from this. You got to focus on the system, the daily actions, not the end goal. Outcomes follow systems. So if you're ever trying to get to your ultimate goal, it's the systems and habits and behaviors that you have to follow on a daily basis that will get you to that place. Number two, the second reason why most resolutions fail is for this reason: relying on motivation. Woohoo, right? I'm all excited. It's the beginning of the year. Let's go, right? Motivation feels great at the start, but it's fleeting. See, it's like a spark. It gets the fire going, but it can't sustain you. Motivation is like a match. Let's just say we had a match, right? Strike the match, you got that match, right? It's lit. The habits are the logs that you light that are going to keep that fire burning. So Sarah's journey started with motivation, but when the spark faded, she didn't have the habits to sustain her. See, the truth is, transformation doesn't depend on how you feel. It depends on what you do consistently. Habits keep you going when motivation runs out. The third reason why resolutions fail is unrealistic expectations. Oh my goodness. Most people set goals that are too big or too vague. I'll work out every day. Really? That's what you're going to do? You went from sitting on a couch eating Doritos to now you're going to work out every day. Okay. I'll stop eating sugar forever. Come on. Really? You love Starbucks and donuts. So you just forever, right? Okay. See, these goals are overwhelming. And they set you up for frustration, and they also set you up for failure. Think about it like this. Can you imagine trying to sprint a marathon? I know some of those guys that are really, really good at it. They are sprinting, but can you, no, I'm talking about you. Can you imagine sprinting a marathon? You'll burn out before you hit the halfway point. Some of us the halfway point to the starting line, but that's another story for another day. But anyways, Sarah could have started with smaller more manageable steps, like committing to 3 workouts a week instead of trying to overhaul her entire routine overnight. So start small. Big transformations begin with tiny, achievable actions. And the fourth reason why resolutions fail is impatience with progress. See, the biggest reason people quit is they get impatient. They expect quick results and give up when they don't see immediate change. Can't give up when it's not happening right away. I want you to think about this lesson for a second. And I learned this from an ice cube. So progress is like an ice cube in a cold room. So you take an ice cube and at 25 degrees Fahrenheit, guess what? Nothing happens. You raise the temperature to 26 degrees Fahrenheit and then 27 and still nothing. But at 32, the ice begins to melt. At 33, the ice starts melting even more. See, that breakthrough wasn't because of 1 degree. It was the result of all the effort leading up to it. And progress is similar. Progress often feels invisible until you hit that tipping point. So don't stop at 31. Don't stop at 32. Keep going. Keep going. See, and there's a science to this all. Because you have to create habits. And we all have them. But I want us to get a greater understanding of some of the research that actually exists on this. Okay, so research by Dr. Philippa Lally at the University College London found that it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit. 66 days to form a new habit. Similar habits like drinking water can take as little as 18 days. While more complex ones like regular exercise might take over 200 days to become a habit. So what does this do? This debunks the myth of the 21-day habit. Habits take time. They just do. And the key isn't perfection. It's consistency. Missing a day here and there doesn't mean failure. Habits aren't about instant results. They're about building momentum over time. So why does this matter? I think nature can really, really give us some insight on how this works. So let me tell you about bamboo. Have you ever heard about bamboo and how it grows? You got some species that grow over 90 feet tall in just a few weeks. Sounds impressive, right? But here's the part most people don't know. Before that explosive growth, the bamboo spends up to 5 years growing its roots underground. And during those years, nothing happens above the surface. But underground, the bamboo is building a foundation strong enough to support its future growth. Then almost overnight, it shoots up. So let's connect this to Sarah. So Sarah's early efforts, her workouts, her walks, and her healthy meals were like watering the bamboo. They were growing roots, even when she couldn't see it. If she had kept going, she would have experienced her own breakthrough growth. See, you're like bamboo too. The work you put in today, every walk, every healthy meal, and every effort might seem invisible, might feel invisible. But guess what? It's building a foundation for you and for your transformation. So don't stop watering your bamboo. Come on. I need you to keep watering that bamboo. Your breakthrough is coming. Your roots are digging deep right now. So I need you to keep going. I need you to keep watering that plant. Because when it's time for you to take off, you got to make sure that all the things you're doing is going to be to sustain your growth and your development, that you're going to just have great success at. Now, when it comes to the foundation of transformation, we got to look at something called deep health. Transformation isn't just about physical health, it's about deep health. And what is that? Well, 5 things that we want to go over that's going to help us with this. Okay. So we want to think about and understand that all these things are interconnected. So one, we have our physical health. And that's your energy, your fitness, and how you recover. You also have your mental health, which is your clarity, your focus, and your stress management. You got your emotional health, which is your ability to understand and manage feelings. You got your social health, where your relationships and meaningful connections. And the last one, you have your spiritual health, which is your sense of purpose and connection to something greater. Physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual health. So I want you to picture it like this. Deep health is like a 5-string guitar. And each string represents a different area of your life. If one string is out of tune, let's just say emotional health, it affects the entire melody. But when all the strings are in harmony, you can create something extraordinary. Sarah's transformation would have been more sustainable if she focused on balance across all areas of deep health rather than just focusing on physical progress. So if you neglect one area, like your mental or emotional health, that can derail progress in other areas. Real transformation is going to come from balance. Okay? And the tough part is that we can't often we can't see what's happening underground with the bamboo. Or sometimes we don't even understand how all these areas of our life are connected, and two is just out of whack. So we got to trust the process. Now, the power of compounding. So when it comes to this, We got to understand this. Oh, this is a big question here. Big question, big question, big question. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Would you rather have $1 million up front or a penny that doubles every day for 30 days? Let me ask you again. Would you rather have $1 million up front or a penny that doubles every day for 30 days? Now, I don't know what you're thinking right now, but most people take the million up front. It's kind of what happens. But here's the truth. Let's break this down. So on day one, you have a penny. That's it. 1 penny, 1 cent, right? By the time you hit day 10, you got $5.12. Day 20 comes out of 30 days, and you got $5,242.88. And your friend that took the million is really, really laughing at you right now because you're 10 days out and you only got $5,000. Now, here's the deal. The biggest growth happens in the final stretch. Day 26, you got $335,544.32. Day 27, you got $671,088.64. Here's where it gets interesting. Day 28, 1.3 million. Day 29, 2.6 million. By the time you hit day 30, you got $5,368,709.12. It's the compounding effect. See, these values show how the most significant growth happens in the final stretch, reinforcing the power of consistency and compounding. See, what we have to understand is that Sarah quit at day 15 of her journey, not realizing that she was in the middle of the compounding process. If she had kept going, she would have seen exponential growth just like the penny. See, the effort feels invisible early on, but it's compounding into something extraordinary. So don't quit before the penny doubles. It's going to, but don't quit before it does. So what we got to understand is this. And when it comes to the lesson, instead of Sarah giving up, like it's because if she would have took this lesson that we just taught today, how would things be different for her? Well, let's explain. So instead of Sarah giving up, she learns to trust the process. She understands her efforts are building momentum, even if she can't see it yet. The second thing is that she would have learned to focus on deep health. By addressing her emotional and mental health, she creates balance and sustainability. Another thing is that celebrate your small wins. See, Sarah would attract her daily actions and celebrate it every step of the way. Her transformation doesn't just change her, it inspires her coworkers, her friends, and her family to make changes too. See, transformation is personal, but the impact is collective. So what happens that Sarah begins this ripple effect. And so that's the thing. It goes beyond you when you start making changes. So here's my challenge to you. I want you to be like Sarah and push through that quit zone. Whether you're on day 1 or day 20, keep showing up. Don't stop before the ice cube melts. Don't stop before bamboo grows. Don't stop before the penny doubles. Here's 3 steps that you can take today. Pick one habit. Choose one area of your life, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, social, or spiritual, and commit to one small, consistent action. And I want you to track your progress. Write it down every day. Progression may feel invisible at first, but it's happening. Just like this bamboo is growing its roots underground and you can't see it, but you got to keep watering it every day. Keep up with the consistent action. Number 3 is trust the process. I want you to keep going even when it feels hard or pointless. The quit zone isn't failure. It's a signal that you're closer than you think. A signal to trust the process. A signal that every small action is compounding into something extraordinary. So don't quit before that ice cube melts. Don't quit before the bamboo grows. Don't quit before the penny doubles. Every small action that you take today isn't just about this year. It's about creating the person you want to become. The legacy that you want to leave. The transformation that's waiting for you. Keep showing up. Because transformation is already happening. Don't quit before you see it. So stay encouraged today. And keep it moving. Keep it going. And know that the quit zone will happen. But I need you to keep going. Hopefully this has been something that's helped you along the way in your journey and that you were blessed by this talk today. So until next time, Coach Joe, Pastor Joe, much love until next time. Peace. I'm out.